children. Joining me now is Renuka Chaudhary, who was a former Women and Child Development Minister, and also Madhu Keshwar, well-known activist as well in these areas. Renuka Chaudhary, it would be easy to make this into Congress, BJP, and see the BJP ministers are doing this. But the fact is that how women and children are treated in India isn't really about one political party versus the other. It's about a larger systemic failure. What would you say as a former minister in that area? Considering that India has a women and child ministry, why is it that our statistics are so bad? Why is it that we see what happened in this tragic story of baby Falak and her mother?
Because, Sonia, we haven't evolved as a society. Why is looking after women and child a women's issue? It is about societal imbalances. It is about flaws in our legislations. It is about the laws that are not implemented. It is about the men who are manning arenas and areas where women go for redressal of grievances. It is about social peer pressure that is given to women, and the complete inequality and inequity that a woman faces at every step of her life. Now, the government has set course corrections, policies have been amended, laws have been amended, but to change a social mindset which actually believes that women are disposable commodities, and they have commodified women as transferable properties. All these are and much more complex issues that happen. And of course, it always helps when you have insensitive people sitting in positions of power who are busy watching porn. I'm not saying this as Congress versus BJP, but it does trouble me that these are the people who are going to be addressing issues.
I think that's really the most shocking part in the temple of democracy in the state assembly. In fact, Madhu Keshwar, if you could come in on this point, because in a way, this is not about just an age-old problem. We've seen as society evolves, the new ways of address of new issues which come up. Because, for instance, we know because of female feticide, because of imbalanced sex ratios, we've seen these bizarre brides for sale, where a young man from Rajasthan wants to buy a young bride, which is what Falak's mother was actually sold to him as a young woman with no baggage, no children. Her 3 children actually distributed around in different families. So, in that sense, we don't seem to have looked at the way that modern society is dealing with evils of, just a shortage of women population or of gender imbalance.
I think, contrary to what Renuka said, the government is changing laws, changing policies. I think government is the problem, because none of these sex rackets, none of these crimes, whether against women or children or other people, take place without the active connivance of the police. And none of the criminal gangs dare operate without political patronage at whatever level. And it's that which is making them so invincible. The judicial system is so tardy, so cumbersome, that you don't expect much to come out of it. And thanas, police stations, are such a high-risk place for a woman to walk into if she's facing threat to her life, or if she's being pushed into sex trade. The last place a woman would think of seeking help from is a police station. So in that sense, in a situation where those whose business it is to protect the lives of citizens and give them a measure of security, when they become the biggest threats and they become patrons of criminal gangs, that's when the power of ordinary citizens shrinks, and people become far more vulnerable than they would be if these were just unprotected criminals.
Renuka Chaudhary, if you could come in on that point, because really that issue, because the current Women and Child Welfare Minister, of course, there have been huge complaints about the ministry not being active at all, that often these are seen as low-profile ministry no one wants or cares about. Your reaction to that? Renuka Chaudhary, just to reiterate that, I think you didn't hear me, but making the point that Madhukeshwar's point that the government is really the problem. The government, the police is the problem. When we look at human trafficking, you can't separate it because it all
it's the
functions.
Easiest thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's the easiest thing, Sonia, to blame the government when we feel helpless and we talk like that. It's very easy to blame the government. At the end of the day, can we do without the government? Can we not recognize the legislation?
No, we deserve a better government. Nobody says we can do without a government.
That's a different issue, Madhu.
But we need a governance, a system that delivers safety and security to citizens, Renuka.
Madhu. You've had your say, let me see what I want to see. There's no denying that. There's no one saying that this is the end-all and be-all of a system. But the fact of the matter is, it's not enough for a government to say that independently, without any societal mindset changes. The thrust on education. Why do we talk about education? People don't understand. It's not just laws and legislation governing women's issues. It is governing... Hello?
Right.
Renuka, your machinery of governance is far more lawless than society. There's more crime taking place in police stations and in government offices
yes, of course, government is lawless,
than in outside society.
Flawless, everything.
Right. Well,
all right. So what do you say? Shall we have a free-for-all society?
No, I'm saying
somebody
we
will
need to
become the
build principles of accountability into
I
our
think
institutions of government.
I think the main focus has to be, Ms. Chaudhary, Madhukeshwar, the main focus has to be reforming our institutions. I think
Renuka, in this case, Ronia, I think what we need to move beyond pious harangues and pious outrage. What we need to do is to understand the politics and economy of the sex trade. Under what circumstances women and children end up in the net of these criminal mafias? What is the economy? What are the incentives? We need a very clinical approach. This is not the time to indulge in pious outrage.
I do have to leave the debate. The biggest farce, of course, is so many ways prostitution illegal in India, but any policeman will tell you where the prostitution areas are within the country, which is why we now say debate on whether to make it illegal or not. We have to end the debate here. Madhukeshwar, Renuka Chaudhary, thank you so much for joining me.
NDTV's Cricket app, Android and iPhone, fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.